Three, one, two, three, three, two, one, go. What's up, guys? I'm a fish, and today I'm going to be continuing my Humanity Restart series. In the last video, I have no clue what happened. It's been quite a while since I've recorded because I was on vacation, and then after I got back from vacation, I felt unmotivated to record. I did some live streams, but live streams are different. You don't have to edit them. I hate editing. So anyway, expect this video to be not really as high quality, because it's the first one I've recorded in a little bit, so be warned. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started on this video. So we're going to be starting off this video with actually relatively big event. You see, if I pull up the religion map, we can see that the British Isles here are very divided between two religions, being the blue religion and this dark kind of forest green religion. And it's going to be here in the British Isles where we see the beginning of like religious centrism, like ethnocentrism, but like religiously. I'm not really sure what the word would be for that. But anyway, the islands are going to pretty much be split into two factions, being of majority green religion and majority blue religion. Now, it may look like that the green religion takes up most of the islands, but if I were to show you guys which nations would be a part of which faction, it would look like this. Because Ireland is relatively split, but the capital city is made up entirely of mostly, vast majority of the blue religion, which puts it on the blue faction. So the British Isles are actually pretty evenly split, as we got Scotland, Southern Wales, and Northern England on one side. Then the other we have Southern England, Cornwall, Northern Wales, and Ireland. In fact, I'd even go as to say that maybe the blue faction with Ireland likely has more power than the red faction. And this is where we're going to see the war start, with Irish forces landing in Southern Wales right here. Let me turn on cities. They immediately capture a major port city of South Wales and begin to push forward towards the capital city. Northern Wales, shortly after, is going to attempt to take as much of their southern neighbor as they possibly can, and connect up with Southern England and Cornwall. And oh wait, I need to change the color. South Wales is going to fall very quickly to the hands of the blue faction. So that's already one member defeated. But shortly after the fall of the capital city, we're going to see both Scotland and Northern England officially declare war. And this is going to start with Northern England with troops already nearby the border, flooding into Southern England and cutting off the capital from the rest of the country. Forces are going to swiftly march towards the capital and take it. This is going to force the garrisons to leave South Wales, which the occupied territory will be moved over to Cornwall, as they don't border any of the attacking nations. Neither does Ireland, but Ireland has their own thing to worry about, as Scotland is going to land on the Isle of Man, And quickly after, those forces are going to continue moving and reach this port city right here. Irish forces are going to manage to pretty quickly fight off the naval invasion, but as that happens, another naval invasion is made in the north here. And this one manages to hold off better than the other one. They manage to secure all of this territory in Northern Ireland before we move somewhere else. South England is going to retake a lot of their territory, but they're not going to be able to recapture the capital city before before they begin to be surrounded and are fully encircled, or rather cut off from basically nothing now. But the point is, Northern England is destroying them. North Wales here is going to be put under the responsibility of occupying South Wales, while Ireland fights Scotland and Cornwall and Southern England fight off Northern England. Um, the corn from Cornwall is going to manage to push back and recapture a lot of Southern England, and they're going to even recapture the capital city, pushing North England back to its border. While this is all happening, Ireland manages to fight off the naval invasion slightly, but they do capture more land up here in the north. But I mean, most of this land is kind of useless, but still, it's a loss for Ireland. North Wales here, as you can see, is a lot weaker than what Southern Wales was. So being able to holding on, occupying more territory than you have, typically, like, doesn't work out well for really weak countries. So we're going to see Southern Wales manage to pop back up in some areas. These militias are going to quickly retake the capital city, as well as the majority of their country, only missing out on one major city up here in the north, which is still under Northern Welsh control. Cornwall and South England are going to make their own push into Northern England, taking a lot of this eastern region and creeping up on the capital city. But this is when something pretty major is going to happen. Over here in Ireland, as I said, they're very, very split in terms of religion. So fighting a religious war against a religion that is very popular in their country probably isn't a good thing. We're going to see a lot of these southern provinces that are of the green religion majority breaking away from Ireland here. And this is going to leave Ireland really just not knowing what to do at all, as the front lines in Scotland break, and they lose yet another major city and all of their eastern coastline. Now, this is not looking good for the Blue Religion faction, even though they are winning in some areas. Well, one area, kinda. I mean, Ireland was the major player in the Blue faction, just as Scotland. Maybe I don't know. I don't know which one would be stronger. So Ireland being in this very bad situation is very bad for the Blue faction. But fortunately for them, there's two countries that also share their Blue religion. Those being France and Gascony, who are having a problem of their own of this green religion popping up in their country. So they both are going to join the war on the side of the Blue faction. As French and Gascon troops make their way to England, Northern England is going to very quickly fall. Entirely. And South Wales is going to be once again split between its neighbors. So that leaves two parts of the Red faction still alive. those being Scotland and the rebellious group in Ireland. Fortunately for them, though, Scotland has just capitulated Ireland, which means that it's Scotland versus everything south of them and two Frances. Meanwhile, France and Gascony and these three are all fighting Scotland and a rebellious group. And Portugal. That's right. Portugal is going to push in to Gascony here. Remember, they want all of Iberia. Gascony, they have lands in Iberia. So this is going to, hold on. All right, sweet. This is going to be Portugal's, besides this Gascon land, like after they take this, the only thing they'll have left to take is the North African land. But obviously, they don't want to fight North Africa, so they're going after Gascony first. They're going to meet up with the Pyrenees Mountains, so they're not really going to be able to push forward any more at this moment. But this alone is enough to make Gascony and France pull out a majority of their forces from the British Isles, especially Gascony. This is going to allow for Scotland to recapture a lot of northern England's territory, and they as well reach to the capital city, not managing to take it just quite yet. From this newly liberated territory, Scotland is going to push into northern Wales and very quickly capitulate the country, which will allow for their ally, which I think was probably something like this color. I'm not going to undo all the way back to when I was still alive. Going to allow them to come back as well. And then, with the help of the Scottish, are going to retake the rest of their country. Northern England is going to manage to re-establish itself a little bit and will take back a few more of its cities. But South England and Cornwall are still doing a good job at fighting them off. At fighting them off. Portugal is going to attempt a naval landing over here in Brittany, which is going to go successfully. And this is going to be helped by the fact that in Brittany there are a lot of people of the Green religion that do not like what Gascony and France are. They don't like them intervening in Britain. So they were going to welcome the Portuguese as they managed to quickly take the entire region, reaching up the coastline and meeting up with France. France is going to push into Gascony here to recapture some of the occupied territories and will push back Portugal to these lands right here. But from this point, Portugal will be able to quite easily hold on to this territory with the help of the civilians living there. From there, Portugal is going to attempt another naval landing in the capital city of Gascony. Now, there's going to be a rough battle, but because of Portugal's superior navy, they will manage to take the city and a lot of the surrounding areas, reaching down to the Pyrenees Mountains to connect their territory, as well as don't know why that major city is messed up, but as well as Italy allowing Portugal to move their forces through their territory into Gascony. The forces are going to connect up and capture all of these lands right here. Southern England is going to push up even further into northern England, but it's not going to last long as the front line quickly collapses and northern England takes back a majority of their territory. Southern Wales here, for the first time ever, is going to occupy territory as they walk into eastern Cornwall here, taking a little bit of territory and disconnecting them from southern England, which is only going to make northern England take back their territory even faster, even restarting their campaign to capture the capital city of South England and pushing towards the border with their ally. So after South England capitulates, more forces are going to march down Cornwall together. So this isn't just South Wales. This is South Wales, Northern England, some Scottish, and Cornwall will soon capitulate as well. So the war in Britain has been won by the Red faction, but that doesn't mean the war is over here in mainland Europe. As a matter of fact, we're going to be seeing another member join, being North Africa. North Africa knows that Portugal was plotting against them. They know they want Iberia. But North Africa wants some of their territories too, such as Gibraltar and a lot more of Andalusia over here. As well as just they don't want a strong neighbor now that since they're also having to worry about the Diamond Alliance, I believe. Yes, the Diamond Alliance in Egypt over here. So, North Africa is going to send their troops marching along the coastline and immediately taking lots of Portuguese territory and nearly reaching the capital city. Meanwhile, in Catalonia, similar strategy will be used as forces march up the coastline and reach the border with Italy. Portugal, who did not see this coming whatsoever, going to very quickly take out pretty much all of their troops from Gascony, leaving only the areas south of the Pyrenees Mountains, which is probably something like that. Brittany here is going to be left to fend for themselves, as the entire Portuguese military needs to be focused on their stronger neighbor who is invading them. This allows Gascony and France to refocus themselves to the British Isles, but at this point, they don't care about the British Isles. They attempt a few small naval invasions, all of which fail, either fail or succeed, but then are immediately taken back, as they are going to focus their forces onto Portugal now. Gasconies are going to recapture all of their occupied territory and will begin. Okay, that's not seeable. Will begin small marches into Portugal themselves. The capital city of Portugal is captured by North Africa, and it seems that all hope is lost for the great Iberian nation, when someone else joins the war on their side. Egypt, seeing that North Africa is focused elsewhere, is going to send its full military along the North African coast, marching towards the capital city, with no signs of resistance. They're going to continue marching, and continue marching. What happened there? And continue marching. And North Africa has already lost their capital. Now, they still have a lot of territory left, but still, losing their capital is enough for them to give up on Portugal. They're going to take all of their forces out and focus on Egypt here. This is going to allow Portugal to refocus their military on the Gascons and the French, with a lot of their formerly occupied lands very quickly falling back to their control. Portugal is going to focus on getting both of these guys out of the war as soon as possible before North Africa can defeat Egypt. Now, the Portuguese military has been beat up quite a bit by both the North Africans and the Gascons and the French. Brittany is still going to quite easily fall over to their hands with, again, the support of the population, and Gascony is going to surrender. And at the surrender and capitulation of Gascony, France will pull out of the war, leaving Portugal to fight North Africa along with Egypt. While that was all happening, North Africa managed to retake their capital city and push Egypt back a lot, but they're not going to be able to push them out fully, not before Portugal marches into their Iberian lands. All of it quite quickly falls over to Portugal, again, as North Africa took the vast majority of their forces out of Iberia to fight Egypt. The Balearic Islands fall shortly after, and Portugal is even going to make a small naval landing on the western coast of Morocco, immediately taking two of the nearby major cities. Now, some of you might think that Egypt probably couldn't do this because they're weak, because they're not in the top 10. But Egypt, they're pretty close. They're probably like 12 or 13, possibly, maybe 11. They're just shy of the top 10, especially after their invasion and joining the Diamond Alliance. They're being supported by some of their allies. Maybe not South India, who has their focuses elsewhere, but still, they're going to fight back against the North Africans quite well, especially now that they have two fronts to worry about. And if you've seen anything in history before, you would know that fighting on multiple fronts typically doesn't go well. North Africa, after beginning to see substantial losses in multiple areas, as well as the capital nearly falling back to the hands of the Egyptians, is going to surrender in hopes that they will not lose as much land in the peace treaty as they would if they were to continue fighting. See, these are the borders of the British Isles now. As we can see, southern Wales annexed northern Wales, northern England annexed southern England, Cornwall is untouched, Scotland annexed the Isle of Man from Ireland, and Ireland is split into two very ugly pieces. Those two pieces are all the provinces that were of majority blue religion remained Irish, while all of the provinces that were of majority green religion became part of the new nation. Now, it may not look like it over here, but if I turn on provinces, you can see that, yeah. Who knows, maybe that'll cause some unrest in the future, who knows. And shortly after this, the new nations, well, not the new nations, but the red faction, they're, Scotland is going to propose a union. Now, unions, there hasn't really been many unions in this world yet. There was recently a union in Eastern Europe here. I don't really think there's been that many. I can't think of any other one. So, yeah, I think this is the world's second union. The leader of Wales here is going to go, what is this? Some sort of United Kingdom? The leader of Scotland is going to go, say that again. And then the three kingdoms that fought together are going to unite to form the United Kingdom. And this is what the rest of the peace treaty looks like. Portugal annexed a little bit of land from Gascony, not that much land, simply because they wanted to focus their war score, I guess, on North Africa. They annexed all of their Iberian territory, they annexed the Balearic Islands, and they annexed one province in northern Morocco that contained two major cities. Egypt annexed a lot of land to their west and are now pretty much right next to the capital of North Africa. To counter this, North Africa is going to move their capital city to be right here. In pretty much the very center of what's left of their country. And as they hoped, they didn't lose too much. They did lose a lot, specifically to Portugal, but they didn't lose as much as they could have. So, that's good. But unfortunately, I didn't think this would take that long, but I've been recording for nearly an hour. I didn't think this one war would take that long. But because of that, I might just end this video here. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys in the next video.